Hey cats, what's happening? Welcome to a Saturday afternoon here. A little cloudy today. And actually yesterday it rained. It really rained for hours. I mean, a pretty good torrential downpour. If you watched my last video, the pond was very low. I don't know if you can really tell, and I'll try to show you here, but normally the water level is clear up here to the edge of the grass. Right now the water level is here, but prior to that the water level was way down where you see this lighter brown there. That was all exposed. So we've gained probably about 10 inches or more of water in the last couple days. Here comes my fish. They hear me over here and they come running. It's typical. They're like pets, you know. Anyway, there was a few questions about the video, some things that I failed to really discuss. As you know, in my last video, I told you about our pond being the water source for the house, or being the cistern. And so it's very critical that we maintain this pond carefully and keep it in good health. There's one of the big cats there coming over to say hi. But it was getting low enough to where it started to take on like a stagnant aroma. So we were getting concerned. We didn't want the pond to stagnate in this 90-degree weather. So we had 10,000 gallons of water hauled and dumped in here. And that brought it up quite a bit. It took away our major concerns, but we still knew we have to make it into the rainy season this fall to fill it the rest of the way up. Well, yesterday it rained so much that I'll bet you the water came up about another 6 inches. That's a lot of water. I mean, it rained and rained. It was supposed to rain all day today, but it never did. It was in 1992 when I built this pond, and the reason that we installed it for a water system was kind of a no-brainer at the time. In 1992, there was no city water out at the street. You had one option to drill a well, or option number 2 to do a pond. Now, why didn't I just drill a well before I even built here? Before I even had decided to build here, one of the first things I wanted to know about was, what's the water like? What, you know, I mean, to me that's one of the staples of life, water, and I want to know what the water was like. I checked with the local zoning and the people that lived in the area, and I found out something a little disturbing, that the well water was not very good at all in this area. In fact, it had very high sulfur and iron content. So the sulfur being the rotten egg smell, and then the iron in the water causes everything to turn rust. You know, your bathtub, your shower, your sinks would all have that rust stain in them from the iron. Well, everything back here behind my property, this is the back of my property back here, everything behind my property is all land conservancy, and if you were to hike back in there, you'll find a couple of old oil wells. Back in the 1920s, they drilled for oil in this area. In fact, my property has real old right-of-ways for gas and oil companies that were, you know, written back in the 1920s that are no good anymore. But they drilled all kinds of wells, and they ruined the water table here. So if you were to drill a well, you're going to hit that sulfur iron water, and it's horrible. Even a water softener doesn't work well with it. So I had the second option at that time, and only option, was to build a pond. So I had a bulldozer come in, and he dug all of the dirt out of here, and he put it up here on this hill where you see the big giant pine trees now. There was nothing there but a pile of dirt. They just kept bulldozing until they got this about a 1/3 acre pond, and it's about 14 foot deep when it's filled to the top. He constructed kind of a dike around the back side of the pond there, And this side of the pond goes in shallow, but everything on the back side of the pond, it drops off pretty quickly. And the reason was, when the kids were little and stuff, this was kind of a beach area right here. In fact, I had all kinds of sand and gravel dumped in right here where we could swim. We had the dock out in the on the shore there that went out where you could dive off of the dock into the water there. And we used to swim in here a lot. I'm the only swimmer now, and I won't swim by myself. I think it's a little foolish to go swimming on yourself. In case something were to happen, you'd have nobody there to help you. So, you know, I'm fine with that. But anyway, that's why we built the pond, because it was a better resource for drinking water, for potable water that goes into the house, than drilling a well. Another thing I get asked most frequently about the pond is, how does your pond fill up? Does it have a stream running into it? No, it fills up strictly from rainwater or groundwater runoff. So the yard here all kind of slopes toward the pond from almost every direction. So any rain that lands up here in the yard runs off into the grass. Plus all the downspouts and gutters from the house run under and come out this pipe here and dump into the pond. That's the way it fills up. If there was a stream running into it, that could bring in pollution. Who knows what people are dumping in upstream of a river or a creek or a stream. You don't want that kind of stuff running into your pond. Not to mention, a stream will bring in a lot of silt. And there's no silt that builds up in here. The only thing that would build up on the bottom is leaves in the fall when the leaves sink to the bottom. But other than that, the pond just fills up with rainwater, and that's fresh, pretty much fresh, clean water. Now, since I've lived here, I'd say within the last 15 years, maybe, somewhere in that area, they installed a water line down along the street there, a city water line. And they wanted everybody in the neighborhood to hook up to it. And of course, that was a pretty big expense to hook up to the water line. Now, and that's even if your house was close to the street. Our house sits back, probably 600 feet off the road. So for us to hook up to city water and have that water line run all the way up to the house would cost a pretty good fortune. And that doesn't include the cost of a plumber to plumb it into the house. And once you have your city water hooked up, obviously, you have a meter and you have a monthly water bill. With my pond, I have no water bill. The only electricity that's used is when the pump kicks on and shoots water into the house. Other than that, and the water out of our pond is really excellent. I just drank some for lunch a little bit ago. A whole glass of ice cold pond water. Of course, that's all filtered, it's all treated. The bacteria is all out of it. And I've been drinking it since 1992, so there you go. So the last couple days have been really hectic for V and I. Both days spent at a hospital all day. Now, back up to Thursday, we had to go up to Cleveland to the main campus, Cleveland Clinic, main campus, the big hospital, the big kahuna. Place is enormous, and I'll bet you we walked over a mile in that facility, just going from one appointment to the next. The main reason we were up there Thursday was so that she could meet with the surgeon. And the surgeon was to decide whether or not she would have this tumor in her lung removed surgically. And he would be the one to do the surgery. He's a very well-known, well-liked, and one of the best thoracic surgeons in the country. We were a little disappointed though when we met with him. Not that he was a bad guy or anything, and I'm sure he is one of the best surgeons around, but just the way he approached the issue with Val, some of the things he said were a little more negative than positive. You know, he made it a point to let her know that there's no cure for cancer, and most of the people that have had the same cancer she has are long dead and gone a long time ago. Those aren't positive things to purvey to somebody who's really working hard to stay healthy and beat this thing. And so far, Val has gone 2 years now, small cell lung cancer, as a survivor, and still doing incredibly awesome. In fact, she's really baffling these experts because she's one of a kind. In fact, they told her she is 1 out of 99 as far as survival on this thing. So she's doing awesome, incredible. So we were disappointed after we left the meeting with the surgeon because he still didn't have a decision whether he was going to operate on her or not. And we thought that was the whole reason we went there, that he was going to make a decision and tell us what the next plan of action was going to be. But we had no plan, so we left there feeling kind of down in the dumps. She had a brain MRI while we were there, so they could scan to see if there's any tumors in her brain again. And they did that. And then yesterday, we spoke with a doctor that explained that her brain is perfectly fine. There's no tumors in her brain right now, and everything looks great there. Yesterday we had to go to our local Cleveland Clinic facility here in Medina, and we spent all day there. We had an appointment with her oncologist, her main cancer doctor. He was very positive, very, we love this guy. He's so positive. He told Val, he said, be above and beyond anything else, above and beyond what the surgeon told you, he told her, he said, I am the one who is taking care of you, and I am going to do everything in my power to make sure you stay healthy. And he said, I think we're going to have surgery. He said, I'm going to get a hold of this guy and tell him to let's go ahead and proceed with it. No more wishy-washy. And right there, as we sat in the examination room with him, he got his cell phone out and he called this surgeon, and the surgeon was in surgery at that point, so he wasn't able to speak with him directly. But he left a message and said, have him call me back as soon as possible regarding Valerie, and we want to get this process expedited. We definitely want to get it done. So that's kind of where we were left yesterday. Val had her immunotherapy, which is a form of chemotherapy, yesterday, and that has been working very well for her. But we didn't get out of there till probably late afternoon before we got home. So 2 long days, and she's pretty exhausted, pretty tired. But I think now we're in a general direction where we have some kind of a plan with her, and we pray that things will continue to go good, to go smooth. Well, it's still threatening to rain today, so no motorcycle ride. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to have to go in the house and see what Val's up to, see if she's got a plan, if she wants to do something. If not, I don't know. I'll find something to stay busy. Well, hey, give me a thumbs up on the video, like it please. If you haven't yet, subscribe, get on board, and we'll keep you entertained with plenty more videos to come. Until next time though, I'll catch you later.